Hello again, Year 6, and welcome back to Lesson 12 of our Destination Reader Sessions, all about cloud busting. I'd love to know what you are thinking about the book so far. Please share with me via email or on MyUSO. Let's review. In today's lesson, any key words that I want you to focus on and that are very important for your learning will be in red. Any questions that I want you to think or write down the answer to will be in blue. And any time I want you to pause the video to write down your answer, that will be in green. Before we begin, please make sure you have a copy of the text, a strategy prompt sheet, a pencil, and a piece of paper, or your home learning book. Pause the video now to make sure that you are ready to learn. Well done. All right, let's get started. Year 6, we are over halfway through our story of cloud busting, and it's getting really exciting now. Not that good kind of exciting like an adventure book, but our author has definitely created some suspense. I want to know what's going to happen next with Sam and with Davy and with Alex. I'm really excited to read today's chapter. We are going to continue with inference today. We are going to be reading between the lines and looking for clues while we read. Before we begin, let's review some important vocabulary which will come up in our reading today. Our first word is an adjective. Year 6, what is an adjective? Well done. My turn. An adjective is a describing word. Your turn. Yes, an adjective is a describing word. It describes a noun. So, our word today is suspicious. Suspicious. Well done. If something is suspicious, or if you are suspicious, it means that you are showing distrust for someone. You don't quite believe them. Our next word is a verb. Remember, a verb is a doing word. Our vocabulary word today is erupt. Erupt. Now, usually we hear that word erupt when we're talking about a volcano erupting and spilling lava out the middle. But today, we're using the word erupt to mean to break out or be covered in something. It means the same thing as a volcano erupting. But in our case, someone's skin will erupt or break out in red spots. Whose skin will it be? I wonder. Our third vocabulary word today is EpiPen. EpiPen. Well done. An EpiPen is a thing. It's a noun. It is a device used in an emergency to treat an allergic reaction. So we would use an EpiPen if someone was having a very big or bad allergic reaction. An EpiPen would help keep them safe until the emergency services arrived. So today again, we will be doing 1, 2, and 3 mark questions. Let's remember, my turn. 1 mark questions need a short, snappy answer. Your turn. Well done. My turn. 2 mark questions need a PE answer. Your turn. Well done. Remember, with 2 mark questions, we have that point, we answer the question, and we have evidence from the text to support our answer. And 3 mark questions. My turn. 3 mark questions need a PEE answer. Your turn. Well done. Awesome work, Year 6. All right, today we're going to read Chapter 16. I want you to take a look at the image here. Let's make a quick prediction in our brains about what will happen in this chapter. I can't wait to see if your predictions were correct. Let's start reading. Chapter 16 is on page 101. Please make sure you're on page 101. I will give you 5 seconds to be there and have your finger pointing at the top, ready to follow along. Awesome. Everyone's ready? Let's read. Chapter 16. Just a joke. Hi, Davy, said Alex. Would you like one of my crisp sandwiches? Davy looked up from his break box, surprised. He wasn't the only one. I looked at Alex. Surprised and suspicious. Suspicious and surprised. Alex wasn't usually nice to Davy. What was he up to? What flavor crisps? Davy asked, through a smile big enough to turn upside down and shelter out of the rain. Alex was talking to him. Alex was offering to share his sandwich with him. Davy was so happy. Let's stop there, Year 6. My question to you is, how is the way Davy feels here different than the way he usually feels at school? Remember, this is a 2-mark answer, so you need to give me point and evidence. Pause the video here and write down your answer. Awesome job. Here's my answer. Here, Davy is feeling happy, accepted, and hopeful that maybe he will make friends at his new school. This is different to how he usually feels because usually Davy is being bullied or made fun of and feels lonely and sad. So Year 6, I have got both of my marks. My first mark here is telling me how Davy is feeling here. My second mark tells me how he usually feels. 2 marks. Let's keep reading. My insides were about to melt. Ham and tomato, said Alex. My mum makes them special. You'll love them. Yes, please, said Davy. Davy reached out for the sandwich. Alex held out to him. Oh, no, said Alex. I'll hold it. Your hands might not be clean. You can eat half, and I'll have the other half. That's fair, isn't it? I stood up, my heart dive bouncing like a bungee jumper. Yes, that's fair, said Davy, and he took a bite. 1 bite. And he chewed with a smile and swallowed with a frown. Let's stop there. I know you want to keep reading, but I'm going to make you pause. Year 6, why do you think Davy swallowed with a frown? This is just a 1-mark answer, so you just need to give a short, snappy answer. Why do you think Davy swallowed with a frown? Pause the video here and write down your answers. Well done. Here is my answer. I think Davy swallowed with a frown because he realized that the sandwich tasted wrong. I wonder what was wrong with the sandwich. Let's keep reading and find out. And the whole class watched. The very air held its breath. Ooh, that's really great personification of the air holding its breath. Okay. The very air held its breath as Davy started to cough, and Alex cracked up laughing, and Davy coughed harder, and Alex laughed more. But then Davy's hands and face erupted, red and swollen with angry hives, slapping and mapping his skin, and the laughter stopped. Davy's hands flew to his throat, clawing at the invisible hands, choking him from the inside out. The whites of his eyes were turning red. He couldn't breathe. He dropped to his knees, then fell to the floor, his eyes on me, and Alicia screamed. Let's pause there, Year 6. My question to you is, how is Davy feeling here? Support your answer with 2 pieces of evidence from the text. This is a 3-mark answer. You will need your point, how is Davy feeling, your evidence, and your explanation. Pause the video now to write your answer. Great job. Here's my answer. Davy is feeling scared and hopeless here. 1 mark. I know this because the text says he was clawing at the invisible hands choking him. This suggests he feels helpless because the hands choking him were invisible. He couldn't do anything about them. That's 1 more mark, Year 6. My evidence and explanation gave me 1 more mark. And then I give another piece of evidence with a short explanation. The text also says he couldn't breathe. I know that if I couldn't breathe, I would be scared. So I think Davy feels the same. Well done if you got 3 marks on that question too. That was a tough one. Now, let's finish reading the chapter. Lucy ran to get help. Claudia started to shriek. Martin shouted at Alex. It was only 1 peanut, cried Alex. I only put 1 peanut in there. With a little bit of butter. It was just a joke. I thought he'd sneeze. It was just a joke. Davy fell on his side, his eyes on me, and was still. I ran over to Davy to loosen his shirt collar, but it was already undone, and Davy was so still. Mr. Mackey ran into the room, holding a fat gray pen. He pushed us out of the way, and took the top off the pen before jamming the other end into Davy's thigh. This is an EpiPen, Year 6. This is what Mr. Mackey is using to help Davy stay safe until emergency services can get there to help him. Come on, Davy, please, begged Mr. Mackey. But Davy was so still. Mr. Mackey kept the pen against Davy's thigh for long, long seconds. It was only a joke, sir, said Alex. I only meant it as a joke. And he started to cry. Great big rolling tears as he watched Davy. Lucy, run to the office and tell them to phone for an ambulance, said Mr. Mackey. And for God's sake, hurry. I turned to Alex and saw myself and hated what I saw. I hated Alex so much, but I hated myself more. And Davy's eyes were on me, still watching me. Still. Let's pause there. Why do you think Alex was crying, Year 6? This is a 3-mark question, so remember to give me a point, an evidence, and explanation. Why do you think Alex was crying? Pause the video now and write down your answer. Awesome job. Here's my answer. I think Alex is crying because he feels guilty. 1 mark. I know this because he says it was only a joke. Mark 2. This suggests that he didn't expect or want anything bad to happen to Davy. Now that something bad is happening, he feels badly and is crying. All right, Year 6. That is the end of our reading today. Now, I don't want you to leave today's lesson thinking that Davy isn't going to be okay. He will be okay, and we will learn that tomorrow. I also think it's really important for us to think about and remember always that allergies are very, very serious, and we should never, ever give something to someone if we know they are allergic. Now, in your home learning book or on a piece of paper, I would like you to answer the following question. Whose fault is it that Alex gave Davy that peanut? Do you think it's Alex's fault or Sam's fault, and why? Explain your answer using reasons, evidence, and explanations. And be sure to send your answer to your teacher in an email or post it on MyUSO. Great job today, Year 6, and we will see you again tomorrow when we continue reading. Well done!